Hey everybody, it's Hugh Starcraft here, bringing you another Starcraft II commentary. I am a little bit under the weather for this cast, but hopefully you guys can't notice it too much. I love Starcraft and you guys so much, I am bringing you this cast just for you. This is a game we found on GamesReplays.com. It is between Liquid Tyler here, also known as Nony, versus the Rigid here, the blue Zerg player. I guess that's kind of blue. I'd say that's blue. So it is a PvZ matchup here on Lost Temple. And one of my favorite matchups actually as a personal player, I do play Protoss, so I love fighting Zerg players just because I think it's the most dynamic. You don't have to agree with me, but we're gonna see how this match goes on before it gets too far underway. I'm gonna let NS say a couple words.
Hey guys, it's NS here. How's it going? Hugh pretty much said everything that I would have said about this game in his intro. There's not really anything else I can add. So I will just say that Rigid does have his Overlord moving in the wrong direction for this first scouting, so it's not going to see anything down there. It is a sad little Overlord. And meanwhile, Nony has gotten down his first gateway. His probe is also moving in the wrong direction. But at that point, it's actually going to see the Overlord, so the players will probably be able to figure out where the other player is spawned by that, just knowing the timing in their heads. And they will know each other spawned. Nobody will know what's actually going on in the other base right now, but nobody's doing anything too crazy, just gateway, spawning pool, pretty much standard timing and everything, so that shouldn't have too much of a huge effect on the game.
Yeah, so we do have that gateway going up for Noni here, and we're gonna see whether he decides to chrono boost out a Zealot here to begin with. And it does look like that is exactly what he's doing. This drone is going to see that, so the rally point is put right into the natural expansion. I don't believe it's going to be too effective just because they are in opposite positions. I'm surprised he's actually doing that at the moment, but there we do have the spawning location change. So actually, it does seem like he is no longer going to go for this early pressure. Always a wise decision looking back on that if you do that just to scare your opponent into building some defenses that otherwise they wouldn't have gotten. So we do have the Forge up in the main, and I believe we are going to see a fast expand out of the Protoss player.
Yeah, the probe is hovering in. There goes the fast expand. Is the way you're predicting everything about this game makes it almost seem like we've already cast this game once.
Well, unfortunately, we did already cast this game, but you cannot blame me just because it was not
my
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 fault.
computer screwed up. I'll take responsibility for this one.
Yes, it's always nice already getting to see what's happened in this match.
Yeah, we've seen about the first half of this, but we'll try not to give too much away.
Yeah, just kind of overviewing what we already said and things like that. So these two Zerglings are going to be moving out, and this Zergling is seeing everything that's going on. He does see the fast expand, so now he knows pressure. He's going to have to keep up some pressure on the Protoss player here, or else the economy gets way out of hand for a Protoss player. Having that extra income means you can go like 6 gate or 5 gate or things like that and do a very strong timing attack. He is pulling back some of those Zerglings to start attacking those rocks, so he is looking to secure that high yield, which is going to really help him here. The extra income it gives you a huge advantage overall. These three Zealots are moving across the field, so we're going to see if they can do any damage here. They are kind of pulling back a little bit, so we're going to see exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, well, they do see the Zergling at that zone log of town, so they decide to run up and take that guy out, and then they're going to start moving into the expansion of Rigid, and there's not a lot there to deal with that right now, especially catching those few Zerglings that were over at the rocks out of position. Just going to start hacking away at that queen, hacking away at those Zerglings, and they're just going to be doing so much damage. Zerg forces are really outnumbered at this point, although with the two queens there, they are actually going to do a lot of damage. People really tend to underestimate the power of queens, but also getting a few extra Zerglings in there, and it does look like he's going to be able to hold that entire attack off, that queen getting away with 36 health, not quite able to kill that there, and if he had, that actually would have been huge if he just managed to get the extra few hits and take that queen out. So good play by Rigid to pull that back there at the last second and keep it alive.
No, yeah, that's a really good point, actually. A lot of Zerglings spawning here. You could just see the income from two bases is just so extreme. It's almost hard to keep up with it with having enough larvae to build all these units. That is a ton of Zerglings he has out on the field. And I think Nony here is a little bit overconfident in his ability to hold this off, because that is a lot of Zerglings. If we look at the army value, he is way behind. He has one Zealot out on the field, along with two cannons. So I don't know at the moment if he has enough to deal with this force.
Yeah, cannons are fairly effective at Zerglings. I do believe they are able to one-shot them, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. I know they used to, but I think they might have gotten nerfed. But either way, cannons are going to be very effective, but the way they're positioned here, it's going to be easy for the Zerglings to get a run by, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen right here. Yeah,
So these
Zerglings,
Zerglings,
the base, and they're just going to go straight for the mineral line there. Probes being pulled off, but the Zerglings are going to start focusing them down, get a few hits on the Nexus, and actually trapping the probes there, getting a few hits, and then running straight up into the main. Whew. This is
he is doing a lot of damage already here. Coming into the main, gonna disrupt all of these probes. All these probes are gonna have to run away. Even attacking with these probes. Probes should never be underestimated. Even putting down that force field. Really good position on that force field.
Yeah, he does manage to get the sentry though, and runs into the next mineral, and all the probes turn around and attack, so huge damage both ways. But if we take a look at the units lost tab, 1350 for Nony to only 800 for Rigid. So that attack, even though he lost all the Zerglings, definitely worth it, especially when you factor in how many of those kills were probe kills. So Nony's economy are really going to be hurting after that.
Yeah, and being a Zerg player, he does have that expansion just finishing right now for him. So that is going to be huge, as now Nony is going to have to go pretty much straight into repairing his economy, but at the same time keeping the Zerg player in check. He does not want to let this Zerg player get out of hand with expansions. So he's definitely going to go try and shut that down. Also, a thing that those Zerglings did also pay off, just the scouting information that they got. They didn't see the 4-gate. They didn't see any Robo Bay, so he knows Zerglings at this point and Roaches or anything that really he gets at this point is going to be pretty effective. That just that scouting information in general is going to be enough. Paid off for those.
We have a small Protoss force moving out here, not too much, but unfortunately for Rigid, there is nothing there to defend that high-yield expansion. One queen popping out, but there's no way that's going to be enough. He wisely pulled all the drones off and hid them behind the mineral line so they won't get killed, but it looks like that hatchery is going to go down, and there's just nothing Rigid can do to save that. So that does go down, one roach spawning, but it is way too little, way too late. So really good play by Nony, and that's definitely going to balance out the economic damage he took from that last attack.
Yeah, that's a good point. He probably assumed at that point, just after an attack like that, that the Zerg player